Welcome, guys. My name is Fredrik, and together with Bergen Municipality, me and my team members, consisting of Jelena, Sigrid, Lasse, and Eva, present here on this slide, also present here beside me, have conducted a study of Steinsvikbekken. We would like to give you a presentation based on this study, which we have called Steinsvikbekken and Urbanization. We would also like to tell you why we think that this study right here matters and why studies like it are important. But first of all, I will introduce you to the site that we studied, Steinsvikbekken. Here we have a map of the Bergen area, and up here we got the downtown Bergen area, and just south of it, encircled in red here, we got the area around Steinsvikbekken. And when we visited this site here, we noticed that the area was quite urbanized. And this got us thinking, how did this area actually look like in the past? And this is what we found. This here is a picture of the area around Steinsvikbekken from 1951. Here in blue, we have where the river flows, and in the bottom of the picture we got Steinsvikbekken. The stream actually flows further downstream, but we only study the lower parts of the stream, which is actually considered to be the most pristine area of the river. And when you guys look at this picture, it is probably easy to see that the area was quite rural in the past. But things have happened since then, and the area has gotten urbanized. And today it looks more like this. So you see, there's has been a radical difference. And this begs the question, how does the urbanization affect the stream? And how does the urbanization affect the creatures that lives in the stream? And what creatures have we actually got? Well, this tiny stream is actually home to quite a few species. For example, the caddisfly, mayflies, gnats, and maybe most importantly, it is an important spawning ground for the endangered sea trout. When we studied this stream, we found 32 taxa in total, but there are probably many more species present. Now I'm going to give you one example of how this urbanization can affect the stream and the animals that live there. Here we have a picture of the stream downstream close to the outlet. And this is actually quite healthy looking. But just upstream from it, we've got a construction site that is linked to the extension of B-Bahn in the area. And because of this construction, parts of the river has been put into pipes. And we know that at least one occasion, this pipe has been blocked. And when trout wants to come up to the stream and spawn, they can't pass this blockage, which has actually resulted in people having to assist them bypass this obstruction, which we don't want, obviously. And there's more, and Lasse will continue.
So we got quite curious about the environmental impact that maybe the B-Bahn has had in this region, as well as the history of the river that we were studying. So we looked in the media, and what we found at the top one is an article that says B-Bahn is destroying the sea trout river, and this is the Steinsvikbekken. It's a different section of the river than we sample, but here you can already see that there's a documented contamination event. In addition, you have Save the Sea Trout, the Bergen sea trout is struggling, and Rescue Mission in Steinsvikbekken. And what these articles show is that there is a concern in the local community for the preservation of rivers like this and the sea trout. So this is the study area, and an illustration of the study area. So if we start furthest downstream, or no, furthest upstream, here you have a lake, as you saw earlier. And this flows up like here and is also joined together with a small stream here. And here is the construction site for the B-Bahn. In addition, there's a small golf course here. So we wanted to have a look at the various sources of pollution in the nearby vicinity that could be affecting the river, because it's quite a small river. So we thought, first of all, there's a golf course upstream by kind of surrounding the lake, and the golf courses are known to cause eutrophication in nearby rivers. In addition, because it's quite a small stream, and it's not the busiest road, but it is still quite busy, we're thinking the combination of it being a small river, it actually it can't actually handle that much pollution. In addition, as you also saw, there's a lot of houses in the area, and it's been proven that the combined effect of many people using gardening chemicals actually can affect nearby rivers. And finally, we have the potential big bad wolf and kind of the reason behind this study, which is the Bybanen extension, as mentioned before. So in order to investigate this, we wanted to make sure, that we took samples downstream from the construction site, as well as upstream, so that we can kind of get a before and after picture of the situation. In order to do this, we looked at, we took kick samples and looked at what we defined as biodiversity, which was then biological monitoring working party values, as well as average score per taxon. We also did Shannon and Simpson's indices. Then we did E. coli samples, and finally we did abiotic samples, which included phosphorus and nitrite, as well as pH, temperature, and conductivity. And further then, we took and kind of simplified this into a traffic light kind of system. So we have good conditions, intermediate conditions, and poor conditions. So these are the results that we ended up with. So if we start upstream by having a look at these three sites, you can see that the biodiversity is bad. And we don't really understand why. We're thinking maybe natural differences, because it was slightly slower flowing and a bit murkier and deeper upstream, so that might be why the biodiversity is worse, but at the same time all the other values seem fine except for the potential eutrophication going on near the golf course. Going downstream from this, we come to the construction site, and this is where we expected to see all the really poor values, but for some reason this is where we have the best conditions. So we were a bit confused, like, what are we going to present to you guys? It doesn't make any sense. And to make it even more confusing then, just going a few tens of meters down from site B to site A, something terribly wrong happens and we do not know what it is. Suddenly we have all three replicates of E. coli being way higher than they should have been. Nitrite was over 3 times the maximum acceptable level, as well as phosphorus being quite elevated. So in the end we had more questions than answers. But if we look at this from a holistic point of view, as you can see, there is more green here than there is red, and there doesn't seem to be 1 or 2 main factors influencing the whole section of the river. It seems to be kind of spread out a bit. So overall, we would say that the river is in good condition, but we would like to have another look at site A.
Yes. Okay. Steinsvikbekken is maybe small, but is that a valid reason for why we shouldn't care about it? Here you can see a map of the Bergen area. Yeah. Where we have pointed out where Bergen and where Steinsvikbekken is. The dark blue areas you can see here on the map are 25 of the streams which are used as spanning grounds for the trouts. And most of them are just like Steinsvikbekken, both small and close to urban development. And the pink areas on the map are where it's happened urban development. So according to from a report from a study done by Unimiljø, they found out that actually 19 out of these 25 streams were clearly polluted, meaning that only 6 of them were not. And again, 3 out of these 19 polluted streams, they were uninhabitable for fish. Luckily, that Steinsvikbekken was not one of those, but it was polluted, and they also found out that Steinsvikbekken was one of the most productive streams in the trout recruitment. So if you take a last look at this map, it actually looks like the urbanization is affecting the trout streams in some kind of way. So our summary so far is that a report or a study gave us more questions than answers. Since we had expected the values on the sites around the Bybanen bridge or the construction site to be the worst, it actually had the best values. We don't know. And downstream, where the E. coli and nitrate were above the maximum levels, the biodiversity was really good. And upstream, it was the other way around. It had poor biodiversity, but the E. coli values were good, and also the abiotic factors. So what? Why should we care? Why is this important? Small streams are used as spawning grounds for the sea trouts. And as we could see on the map previously, it is a lot of urbanization going on. And in most cases, it is affecting the trout streams in a negative way. So, but we can't forget about the big bad wolf in the story, the Bybanen. But is it so bad, or is it good? If you think about it, the Bybanen is more environmentally friendly, it is more green, so it can maybe help or reduce the traffic that will go around the streams. But at the same time, the construction of the new Bybanen tracé and everything is not so good. It is making a partial blockage and affecting the streams in a bad way. So our take-home message, or the last message, is monitoring equals caring, meaning that if we keep on monitoring the condition of the small streams, we are also caring about the small animals or the big animals who rely on these streams and for the future of their survival, which one of them is the sea frogs. So, thank you for your attention.